Illinois Education News, Episode 10, Article. The News Gazette. In Illinois, apprenticeships are on the rise. Published January 6th of 2020. Apprenticeships programs in construction and other trades have been long seen as a pathway to good-paying jobs without the expense of a college degree. A new study suggests that they also rival the performance of state colleges and universities in terms of training hours, graduation rates, diversity, and lifetime earnings for graduates. The report from the Illinois Economic Policy Institute and the Project for Middle Class Renewal at the University of Illinois specifically singles out Illinois Joint Labor Management construction apprentice programs as a model that could be duplicated in other industries with high demand for skilled workers, such as IT, nursing, or manufacturing. The apprenticeships offer a path to the middle class with access to jobs that pay $40 an hour, said Frank Manzo, Policy Director of the Illinois Economic Policy Institute. For many young residents, vocational training may offer a better pathway to a stable job than college, he said. The report, The Apprenticeship Alternative, uses data from the U.S. Department of Labor to compare outcomes for apprenticeships programs with Illinois Community College and four-year universities. Joint labor management apprenticeships programs have graduation rates of 54% compared with about 66% for community college and 61% for Illinois public universities, it said. The average starting wage for apprenticeships graduate is $19.15, about the same for those from community colleges and slightly less than $26 for those with four-year degrees. But the average career wage is $40.40, higher than either of the other two categories, and lifetime earnings exceed $2.4 million, nearly equal to four-year programs, the report said. Construction apprenticeships spend more than 7,300 hours in training, on par with four-year bachelor's programs, the report said. Apprenticeships are bachelor degrees of the construction industry, Manzo said. They are a great alternative for Illinois youth. They offer workers pathways into middle-class trades that are in high demand. Because of that, we need to remove the stigma of choosing a trade school or college by expanding pre-apprenticeship programs in public high schools and colleges, and by educating students, parents, teachers, and counselors about them, he said. The authors also called on the state to promote a new apprenticeship education tax credit that Governor J.B. Pritzker signed into law in August. Senate Bill 1591 offers employers a tax credit of up to $3,500 to cover educational expenses for each qualifying apprentice, and up to $5,000 for those in underserved areas. This is an exciting new opportunity for employers to dive into the apprenticeship model, Mansell said. A growing demand. Currently, more than 85% of all apprentices in Illinois are in the construction sector, and 97% of them are enrolled in programs administered jointly by the labor unions and their contractors, according to the study. The authors argue that it is the most effective model, as the programs are cooperatively administered and fully funded, with wages negotiated as part of a union contract. For every hour worked by an employee, a small amount is invested into an apprenticeship program to train the next generation, Manzo said. The industry also has employer-only programs administered by companies or trade associations, but they rely on voluntary contributions from contractors, who often have an incentive to forego long-term workforce training investments to keep costs down so they can win project bids, Manzo said. Apprenticeship programs have expanded considerably in Illinois in recent years. In 2018, the state had about 16,000 participants, up 34% since 2011, even as enrollment growth has slowed at many public universities in Illinois and across the country, Manzo said. They offer a cost-effective alternative to public universities where tuition costs have risen as state funding has declined, said University of Illinois professor Robert Bruno, the study's co-author and director of the Projects for Middle Class Renewal. Apprentices pay minimal costs and don't accumulate debt, he said. At the same time, Illinois and other states are investing millions of dollars to upgrade bridges, roads, and schools, providing job opportunities and incentives for people to go into the trades, Bruno said. With an 8-year economic expansion and the new $45 billion Rebuild Illinois program, demand continues to grow, Manzo said. No taxpayer cost. Jarrett Clem, business manager for International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 601 in Champaign, said 13 local trade unions offer apprenticeships programs that run from 3 to 5 years. Education is free for the workers, who repay it over their career through the per-hour contribution to train future generations. You're paying for the next guy behind you, Clem said. Apprentices are paid to work alongside a journeyman, getting raises as they learn more skills, he said. During the school year, they usually go to class 1 or 2 nights a week. The IBEW program takes in 12 to 18 new apprentices each year, depending on how much construction work there is, with a total of 65 currently in the program, Clem said. We're definitely building up our members. I think pretty much all the trades are, Clem said. Apprenticeship schools funded by unions and contractors would amount to the 6th or 7th largest educational institution in Illinois, all privately funded, the study said. It's done without any cost to the taxpayer, Bruno said. It's millions of dollars invested directly into nothing but education and training. Research has shown that the model is applicable to other occupations, Bruno said, giving workers a chance to acquire more skills and access to better paying jobs. It's used in Las Vegas to train hotel casino employees, Bruno said, and service workers in Chicago have teamed up with the managers of condos and hotels to create an apprenticeship program where employees can move from janitorial work into higher skilled positions, such as mechanics, he said. Parkland's Pathways. In Champaign County, Parkland College and local school districts have been moving to reinvigorate career and technical education and beef up pre-apprenticeship programs that introduce students to various trades. Pre-apprenticeship programs offer a bridge to help high school graduates learn the math, science, writing, and problem-solving skills they need to be admitted to apprenticeships, Bruno said. They also give students a credential to use when they're interviewing for an apprenticeship position, said Bobby Sklozel, Parkland's Dean of Career and Technical Education. One program at Parkland and other community college, funded by the Illinois Department of Transportation, prepares students for careers in highway construction in cooperation with local unions. Parkland is also expanding partnerships with industry to provide new apprenticeship programs in manufacturing and information technology, Sklozel said. Parkland provides the classes, employers pay for the students' instructional costs, and students earn an entry-level wage on the job where they are mentored by more seasoned employees, Sklozel said. Once they complete the program, they get an industry-recognized credential from a job certification to an associate degree, she said. Parkland is taking part in a program funded by a $400,000 federal grant to the Illinois Community College System to use the ICATT apprenticeship model, Industry Consortium for Advanced Technical Training, for high-tech manufacturers and companies for complex logistics. A project of the German-American Chamber of Commerce of the Midwest is based on the German dual education system of training students to work in specific industries. So far, 3 companies have signed up, Sklozel said. Another new federal grant will fund a program to develop IT apprenticeships in programming, networking, and cybersecurity, she said. Employers who participate will receive $2,000 for each employee they sponsor. Parkland received $332,000 over 4 years for the program. The college recently approved a Google IT pre-apprenticeship program designed to prepare students for entry-level jobs in IT support. They will earn a Google-issued industry credential as well as a Parkland certificate. Parkland provides training in automotive technology for Ford employees and is developing apprenticeships in landing, surveying, and pesticide application, working with agricultural interests and the Illinois Association of Land Surveyors, Scozell said. Electronics degree? Parkland is working on agreements with local unions that would allow apprenticeships to get college credit for their part of their training and ultimately earn a certificate or an associate's degree in electronics or another trade. Students might take 15 credits in a particular discipline and 15 general education courses during their apprenticeship, so by the time they're done as a journeyman, they have 30 credits toward their associate's degree, Scozell said. They want their folks to get an associate's degree, she said. The United States has primarily used the union model for apprenticeships, which works well, but other models can work too, Scozell said. If you want to do this, you're not a union shop. You can develop it, she said. Manzo said partnerships between colleges and employers are important, and the German ICATT model is worth exploring to improve opportunities for students at community colleges who aren't headed for construction jobs. Joint labor management programs aren't a panacea, he said, but the report shows they're a good model that has worked in Illinois and elsewhere and could offer a roadmap to improve the pool of skilled labor in other industries. The U.S. Department of Labor has identified hundreds of occupations and growing industries that could benefit, including healthcare, IT, veterinary medicine, and transportation, he said. With a strong economy and record low unemployment, employers are looking for ways to get the workers they need, Manzo said. Women, minorities make gains in representation. Historically, most apprenticeships have been concentrated in male-dominated industries where women and minorities weren't always welcome, researchers say. But the U.S. Department of Labor data show that graduates increasingly reflect the racial diversity of Illinois, according to a new report by the Illinois Economic Policy Institute and the University of Illinois Project for Middle Class Renewal. Women made up 3.7% of graduates from joint labor management construction apprenticeships in 2017 and 12.9% of those in other fields, far below the 15% or more at colleges and universities. But 9% of graduates were African American and 11% were Latino, similar to rates for the state's public universities, 10% and 12% respectively, the report said. The change has been driven by several factors, including government pressure to diversify the programs dating back to the Carter administration, said University of Illinois professor Robert Bruno, a co-author. Many minimum wage jobs are disproportionately filled by women and minorities who see apprenticeships as an attractive option, especially as college costs continue to rise, he said. There's been a real effort made within the trades to be more appealing to a diverse, inclusive workforce, he added. Across the state, apprenticeship programs have reached out to community colleges, high school counselors, and others to recruit applicants from diverse backgrounds. Local unions also worked with United Way and the AFL-CIO to produce a booklet outlining the different trades and apprenticeship programs. In the past, we didn't do a good job of going through the community. The only people who knew we existed were sons and daughters of workers, said Jarrett Clem, business agent for the IBEW Local 6110 in Champaign. We've tried to reach out and say, this is a great opportunity. You'll have insurance, you'll have a pension, and a living wage. While the percentage of women in the trades remains low, Bruno said, what we now know is when they get there, they're very likely to graduate, with completion rates exceeding their male counterparts, 57.33% versus 54.1%. The growing number of female plumbers, carpenters, and laborers are now instructors in apprenticeships, giving female students a symbol of what can be achieved, he said. The report called on the state to expand access to child care, a barrier to female participation, and urged apprenticeship programs to hire more diverse instructors to develop mentoring programs for students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Ensuring a workplace free of discrimination is also important, Bruin said. Instructors, staff, and apprentices